All right, everyone. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. What does this new SGE search experience by Google mean for your SaaS startup's visibility? So first, we need to understand what the search generative experience is trying to accomplish. And what Google's trying to do is merge the OpenAI ChatGPT conversational-like experience with Google's traditional search experience. And that's what you need to understand about what this is. Now, I just want to walk you guys through exactly what this looks like so that you guys can see this in real time, and we're going to go from there. But before we do that, I want you guys to know that in this video, you'll learn the 4 visibility ramifications for SaaS startups. So if you've just launched your business in the last 3 to 5 years, this is particularly important for you because you are still in the building blocks, and you just got to get some of this stuff right in order for you to not just survive, but to thrive in this search generative experience. So let's go ahead and just jump right into what it looks like. Okay, so this first query here, this first tab has all of my information interconnected. So my data was not cleared. This second tab has pretty much all of my data, my cookies cleared. And so you are going to be able to see the vast difference between the same query essentially done 2 different times. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see here, my query is, how can I produce video content faster? And this is the experience that Google is now servicing up. So as you can see, we have a carousel here at the top. The same results on the left-hand side are actually the same results on the right-hand side. They give you 2 different layout presentations. And as you continue scrolling down, you'll see here that they've parsed up the information that they deem as most relevant coming from these results. Now, as you can scroll down, you'll see more of the generic layout. As you can see, this is a video query, so it's actually giving us video results. Important to note, you'll find out more about why they're doing this. And then you have the traditional people also ask and the traditional experience. Now, let's go ahead and see a follow-up answer. So this is, can someone do this content for me? That's the content that I put in. And this is a follow-up answer. And it's going to be very important for you guys to look at these results and analyze them with me. So as you can see here, it gives you generic information about what you can expect or what to consider. Then it gives you project outline, tips, etc. So as you can see, this is a very generic, summed up answer, okay? Now let's go ahead and move to where my data was pretty much cleared. And as you can see here, I pretty much get the same result for this. I pretty much get the same result for this answer on the first try, okay? So as you can see here, pretty much it's all summed up. Now, as I continue to scroll down, here's where it gets very interesting. As you continue to come down here, the same type of query is done for this second part, but here's where I want you guys to pay more attention to. This talks about the type of services that you need, and this is where the most important part of this video will be. One part of the most important part of this video will be, is here. It's actually servicing up content or recommendations. And this is very important for us to understand because it's one of the ramifications that I'm going to talk about in the next part of the video. So now that you all have seen the search experiences and how they vary, here are some of the biggest ramifications that we can expect. Number 1, Google is going to double down on personalization at mass scale. So they are trying to understand what pathways are better at answering a user's query than the original one-click answer, okay? The one blog post answer. That is the purpose of generative AI, is to better to better predict a user's patterns or behaviors or text strings, and how do they make that a pathway that solves for the end user's questions or concerns. And so what this means to your SaaS company is you're going to have to develop a deeper understanding of consumer and customer pathways and behavioral patterns. Okay, that's the way it's going. So heat maps, understanding analytics and how to parse through the pathways. You're going to have to get closer either to your data or your customer, and that's going to be critical because Google is going to begin to parse up information or websites that do a better job at understanding their consumer holistically. Okay, so that's one of the biggest search changes that we can expect. Number 2 is the first 3 results are actually going to become the most critical because the one-line answers are going to be parsed from the first 3 results. So what that means is the disparity in click-through rate between results 1 through 3 and 4 through 10 are going to grow even larger. So your content strategy is going to have to be even more fine-tuned than before. So if you don't know how to create content strategy, I'll create a video on that in the coming weeks. So you're going to want to like and subscribe seriously to be able to get the right way to create a content strategy based on Google's algorithm and not just based off of like your product, based on how do you merge your product and Google's algorithm to best make the best content strategy. And there's a way to do it that's not taught. But we're going to go ahead and understand numerically what's going on with search in reference to organic click-through rate. So here we have a breakdown of organic click-through rate. So at the beginning of 2023, the number was, for the first click, you got about 27.6% of the clicks that came to that search query. Now, as we scroll down here, towards the end of 2023, that number jumps up to 39.8%. And obviously so, because Google is going to start displaying that number 1 result and pieces of that information in different places within their generative search experience. So it's going to be even more critical for SaaS companies to get 1, 2, and 3 positions for visibility, okay? Okay, so what you need to know when it comes to follow-up answers is that brand matters the most when it comes to follow-up answers. You have to look at Google and their algorithm like an encyclopedia. It keeps track of all of the information across millions or maybe even billions of websites. So if this algorithm has more information on a certain brand, i.e. more content to pull from, it is naturally going to lean more towards the person who has what I call content velocity. So it's going to be so important that people that have, or SaaS companies that have just started their business in the last 3 to 5 years, that you focus on content velocity, because the more content that you give the algorithm to pull from, the higher up and the more visibility you naturally get from Google. Okay, so that's what this means to your business. The follow-up answers are going to come down to branded real estate. Which companies have a better brand online? And 9 times out of 10, these companies have a lot of visibility as well. So with that visibility, you will also reap the benefits of showing up in the right places as frequently as possible. So content velocity is what I find is the biggest challenge for most SaaS companies, especially if you're in that 5 to 10 million mark. You absolutely need to double down on content velocity because you already have established product market fit, and the velocity of content is going to help you double, triple the awareness that you're getting online. So that's essentially what you need to focus on. So last but certainly not least is first-party data versus third-party data. I know a lot of people have gotten used to SEMrush reports, RF reports when it comes to traffic, but the reality of it is there is a disparity between the way that Google calculates KPIs and the way that third-party data sources calculate KPIs. So with that being said, SGE and this new experience by Google prioritizes their data pool. If the accuracy of your data is not correct and you believe a page is performing at X level and in reality it's performing at this level, Google is going to prefer or use their information in order to service up those recommendations that you saw with the second response. So data accuracy is going to be most vital. And what that means for your SaaS company is you're going to have to buckle down on using native data sources like Google Analytics, Data Studio, Google Search Console, tools that are native to Google and not third-party tools, especially when you're making content strategy decisions or demand gen strategy decisions. So that's going to be critical. All right, so like and subscribe for more content like this. Once again, guys, I create this content for two reasons. I want you guys to run the cleanest websites so you can get the visibility that you need by either doing it yourself or hiring us to do it. All right, have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video.